The future, a world where the quest for truth has ended.
Do you believe in the supernatural, Mr. Vendarius?
I'm not enough. Surprise! The Shader will bring hell to Earth for thousands of years. Shock Division, kill them all!
Spirit Blade, a full cast audio drama. Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade for free at spiritblade.com.
Now we're gonna get into it. Let's see how everybody's doing. Everybody's doing okay. Little touch of that mid heel, and away we go. Oh, still here. Okay. Well, great. Let's see here. So I had been, up until like just a couple nights ago, playing using what's one of the Draconian quest settings. You can make the game more difficult, and it had started out too easy for me as someone who just played a lot of these games. And so I ramped up the difficulty just in the area of making the monsters stronger. And I found that really enjoyable. But there did come a point, about 40-some hours in now, where I was like, I hit a boss or something, I was like, I don't want to grind this boss. And this game is long enough now, I've been in it for 40 hours, which is the length of some, old-school JRPGs of their entire game, So I was like, okay, I'm ready to start cruising a little bit, and if I feel like I get too powerful, I'll just start skipping battles so that I'll be a little under-leveled, maybe. So yeah, alright. But I did find that it was valuable to not use the auto-attack options. You have some abilities to give basic AI instructions to each of your teammates, and then kind of just have them auto-attack. But doing that, I just found really put me to sleep. I was like, I need to at least, even if the choices aren't that complicated, I need to at least make the individual choices for each party member. Let's see here. Nice. Let's see here. Burns a single. We want to do a group. Group of enemies. Maybe not that much. Let's see what this does. Alright. And yeah, let's whoosh these guys. Alright, not very powerful, but I can finish them off with regular attacks. Then it becomes kind of a game of like resource management, it's like, okay, I can totally waste these guys with using my most powerful attacks, like my abilities, but those all have a little bit of an MP cost, and so then I decide, okay, well, let's see how far I can get, just using regular attacks and healing myself when I need to, because, using just regular attacks means the battles are going to last a little bit longer, my guys will take a few more hits over the course of the battle. So, and I like that kind of, resource management aspect of the game. Come on, there's got to be something over here. It continues to, well, I don't want to say continues to be. When I happen to think of it, it's a recurring disappointment that this game does not have an actual orchestral score. For the American release of Dragon Quest VIII, they added a completely real orchestra recording of all the battles and all the other music in the game. It was super cool, and it just kind of added a little bit of sophistication to it. Like Holly enjoyed it when I played that game because she would get to listen to the music from the next room, Francisco Ruiz says, I submit a motion that Holly joins the pizza party when we have it for at least a little. Do we have a second? Reed Benson seconds. Francisco, seconded, the motion carries. Now respond, Pater. That's, I have no powers over Holly. That's going to be up to Holly. But I'll tell you what, if you remind me, then I will at least ask her if she can pop in for a little bit. Because I know that, like, my family's not going to stand for me just eating pizza, you know, with them eating, I don't know, peanut butter jelly or whatever the crap they would have for dinner. That's not how that is going to play out. All right. Yeah, let's do regular attacks here. Let's do some light spell action here. Yeah, that's a nice bit of teamwork there. Yeah, regular attack there. Nice. Oh, you know what? I think here I am trying to like eat and do this at the same time. I think they designed these controls so you can play one-handed. Let me see if I can figure that out. Does it have to be my right hand though? Because I'm right-handed. No. Auto run. Okay, no, I can't select things. Let's try the left hand. Fight. Right trigger. Oh, okay, so you can use left trigger as your action select. Attack! Yeah! Look at me! I'm winning in life! Oh, man. These guys are tough, though. I should think about this a little bit. How do I cancel? L1? Oh, come on, you gotta let me cancel. How do I cancel? Wait. No. Dang it. I lose a life. Alright. So, let's see. Blazing Wall of Fire. Let's try lightning on these guys. Not great damage, but it did take out that one dude. That's a little surprising. Usually metal slimes are really tough, and they run away before you can kill them, because they get you a ton of experience points, but these are knights riding on metal slimes, so maybe it's different. Alright. Done. Oh man, that was low. Winter Queen asks, speaking of pizza, how's the weight loss going? Well, I've been giving an update every week on the Christian Geek Central podcast, and Christmas was, for those who don't know, a big setback for me. I let myself for 3 weeks just go to town. No exercise, no dietary rules or restrictions, and in fact, I leaned into the opposite. I didn't just allow myself to eat food that was bad for me. I prioritized edible things that were bad for me. It was bad. It was bad. And my waistline got set back to where it was in like mid-September. And so coming back from that, I was like, okay, I'm gonna go like unsustainably hard in my self-restrictions until I get back to where I was early December. And I have been harder on myself, I think, than usual, and so my weight loss has been consistent since then. Not as fast as I would like. What are you gonna do? But I'm probably... I'm hopefully no more than like 2 weeks away from where I left off in December, you know? I would love it if it turned out to be like I jumped to it this week, because I'm a half inch away from where I left off. And looking back at my weight loss, or my waist loss, I should say, in the fall, there were weeks now and then where I would jump a half inch in a week, you know? And so this could be one of those weeks. I'm not sure. We'll see. We'll see. But, you know, lesson learned. I'm just not going to go that crazy for that length of time ever again, you know? And there were diminishing returns anyway, you know? After a little while, it's like, yeah, now I'm just doing this because I can, not because I really want it, you know? All right. Man, there's a lot of great conversation going on in there, guys. If you do want to get my attention, you do that thingy, that highlighty thingy, to get my attention, because otherwise I'll end up missing stuff. Let's see here. What am I trying to do here? No spells. Let's just attack. No, we're not going to stand for that. Let's take this one down. Oh man, that was weak. I thought she'd do a little bit better. At least they get some magic points back when they attack. Okay. There we go. Oof, that was a hard hit. Alright, let's try that. Oh, it just automatically highlights it when you put in at Christian Geek Central? Interesting. Okay. That's cool. Learn something new every day. Okay. All right, let's go a little more aggressive here. Oh, there he goes. Let's see. There we go. Oh, I never healed what's-her-face. Alright, I'll take care of that in a second. Let's flame slash this dude. Oh man, I really thought it was going to be a one-shot kill. Yeah, I was playing both this... I played this for a little while and realized, nah, I'm done. At least for the foreseeable future. But, I think I'm more likely to play through Dragon Quest Builders 2 before finishing this one. I could be wrong. I don't know. I just really need to be in the mood for the particular turn-based combat that this game and this game series excels at to get past the aesthetics, because the cutesy aesthetics do start to wear on me after a while. And especially when I've got a game in my library that has great turn-based combat, but without the cutesy aesthetic, and that's Elminage Original, which is this really badly translated game out of Japan that does not have an anime aesthetic to it. It actually has much more of a D&D looking aesthetic, and it's like just a classic old school dungeon crawl, grid-based dungeon crawl with turn-based combat. Not the more real-time stuff like Grimrock, Legend of Grimrock or something like it, whatever that game is called. That's like more of a real-time type thing where you're moving around and dodging and stuff in real time. But no, this is like, I played it on a stream before. It was like the 2018 Extra Life stream. I played that one, and I'm kind of saving it up right now because I'm thinking in the summer we're making a trip out east, and I'm thinking of, it's like Holly's side of the family. We're gonna like spend a week at the beach or something like that. Yay for me. I mean, I like Holly's family, but the beach, you know, not my thing. But we're not going to be at anyone's home. We're not sure like what the lodging situation is going to be, and so I'm not counting on being able to bring my PS4. And so with that in mind, I'm kind of avoiding playing games on my handheld systems, my Vita, and my Nintendo DS, which plays both Game Boy Advance and Nintendo DS games. DS Lite plays both. Otherwise, I would totally scratch my turn-based combat itch with that. That's a great little game. And long, my gosh, there's so much fun to be had in that. What is this? Huh. Okay. Huh. What have we here? Okay. Oh yeah, I think I've found these kinds of things before. Alright, well, looky what I found. A campsite. Oh crap, I can't get over there. I gotta go back around, huh? Alright, we'll do that. So yeah, I'll hit that campsite and then I'll save and exit and move on to another game. Oh, but I gotta heal what's-her-face. Alright, good enough. Oh, he's waiting for me. No, I'm gonna skip these guys. Yeah. Adam Culling says, I don't mind the beach as long as I have my Kindle, although I do enjoy getting in the water and cooling off. Well, that's one more part of the beach that you enjoy than me. I don't like getting in that water. There are creatures in that water. All right. I'll just save here. Yep, I'm sure. Very good. Yes, but I'm lying. It just gets me out of the menu faster. All right. Let's see here. Yeah, my notes for Dragon Quest XI were turned off draconian monster difficulty, combat choices / tactics are interesting enough without being too complex, aesthetic of visuals and world / story just feel too bright and cheery for me right now. No sense of drama about the world I'm in or the creatures I'm fighting, which I suspect is entirely an aesthetic issue. Shelving for now. Okay, so let's get into The Witcher 3. Now this one I really want to like. Well, I do like it. This one I really want to love. There are definitely things I like about this game. All right, so now she's really leaving us. Thanks so much, Katya, for coming by. It was awesome to see you. Always great to hear from you. Rugged Warrior says, did I see that your kids got a Switch? Do you play it at all? My oldest son, Asher, got a Switch. That was over Christmas. He'd been saving for a long time and just kind of asking, in addition to saving up his chore and allowance money, had been just mainly asking for money for his birthday last fall and then for Christmas as well. And so we had a whole cool thing. I sent him on a treasure hunt around the house, a kind of a clue hunt that one clue led to the next, to the next, to the next, till finally led to my office where I had a shop set up and a little toy cash register, and I sold him a Switch with all the money he'd gained up to that point. And that was really special. So yeah, but he only has a couple games on it. He's got the Mario Kart 8 game that came with it. He hasn't touched that much. He's really been playing Super Mario Maker 2. That's what he's been really into. And so I've played like a couple of his levels now and then, but no, I'm not playing on the Switch. I don't really have any interest in Switch games. The one that I might have an interest in at some point would be The Legend of Zelda Breath of the Wild. But other than that, like all the games that are exclusive to Nintendo that you really buy a Nintendo console to play, I am not interested in them at all, Gabriel Sinton says, might be done for a bit. Don't want to take the chance of seeing non-kid-friendly stuff in The Witcher. Oh, yeah. Sorry about that. I totally understand. I don't plan on engaging in any kind of sexual escapades. But this game, like, I played a little bit of the first Witcher 2, and there can be some moments that surprise me. Like, I didn't want to walk in on this. A little bit like that TV show. My wife and I watched the pilot episode, and that was a good one to have my wife with me to navigate, so that as the moment I see lots of skin tone, my eyes go, to the corner of the room, and I just track peripherally, or just let Holly tell me if I'm missing anything important. And we haven't watched any since then. We might come back to it. We found some of it interesting. There's a lot of world building in that. There's a lot of like people, places, names, lots to keep track of, to be introduced to. So yeah, a little much. But the back third, the final third of that pilot, did have some nice character stuff that interested me a little bit. Oh, here's a quest I just walked right by. I'm like hungry for quests because, well, let's do this first. I've turned off voice acting. Not because I think the voice acting is bad, but because I cycle through. I read faster than they perform. Where you put it? Where's Jug? Where's Bucket? No, I'll say leave her alone. Wait, give me yours, huh? Let's go, right? Kill him, down the witchman. On their way, stay here, they will too. I don't know. These girls, what are they? No, I was hoping you'd give me a quest with some money involved. That's why I did that. No quest. Alright. Well, I tried to get a quest from you. Is it pouring? Oh my gosh. My wife just said it's pouring outside. We were expecting some rain this week. Oh yeah, I got my headphones on, so I'm like, I totally can't hear. Nice. Oh, I'm a little sad that I'm missing it. I wouldn't cancel the stream so that I can enjoy the rain, but here in Arizona, well, you can ask Scribbling Scribe. Look out your window, Scribbling Scribe. Here in Mesa, you're probably getting at least some of this. Very nice. All right. So let me actually talk a little bit about The Witcher 2 and my experience with it. I really enjoy... oh, hang on. Let me answer Francisco's question first. He says, do you find doing that has helped you see your wife as more beautiful? I close my eyes during scenes of too much skin, and I think it has made her more beautiful to me. If you're getting at what I think you are, yes, I think that the more... I mean, and sexual studies have shown this, that, like, when men are exposed to, like, pornography, then the average woman around them that might normally be considered beautiful is not attractive to them. And so it's just like eating, you know, lots of really flavorful food, you know. After a while, you kind of become numb to it, and you lose an appreciation for really good tasting food, you know. And so likewise, you can ruin yourself really quickly, especially since I think as men we can just instantly store those images in our minds, and they'll come unbidden to our memory, you know. And so, yeah, I think that the more you abstain from not just images of nudity, but just but like women that are in skimpy clothing and those kinds of things, the more that we avert our eyes and keep those images from being, you know, unintentionally or intentionally stored in our memory, the more we will enjoy our wives. Yeah, I think so. If that's what you're getting at, I think that's absolutely true. Scribbling Scribe says, you guys are getting rain right now. Please, God, make it blow west. Well, it has slowed down just a little bit. So, we'll see. So back to The Witcher 3. Without the ability to heal instantly using insta-heal items in combat, I'm limited in what kinds of things I can fight. It's more about preparing in advance and being able to dodge when you need to dodge. I don't find the controls to be as responsive as I want them to be, you know, so I feel like I get hit sometimes where in another game I would have hit the button in time to be to dodge, or it doesn't give me as many invincibility frames, or it doesn't dodge me out of the way as much. There's just things about the combat that, like, make it cumbersome, and I just can't reliably perform well in combat. And a good chunk of that is because I suck at action games, which I've said, you know, many times before. But that's just the reality, you know. The game's combat being built the way it is, it's hard for me to enjoy even on the easy difficulty. And then also, in the world as you travel around it, you know, there will be RPGs where... and the Dragon Quest games are a good example of this. You know, you have whole sections of the map that have creatures of a certain difficulty level. And you're going to have about the same difficulty experience with all the varied creatures in that little area of the world map as you're in that area. When you veer out of that area, you'll know that you're in a place you're not supposed to be, because there'll be a difficulty spike, and you'll be like, oh man, I'm not ready for this area, you know? But in this game, you can run into enemies that are lower level than you and enemies that are much higher level than you in the same area, you know, in the same little space. And I find that frustrating, you know? It takes away some of the enjoyment of exploration for me, you know? I would rather that they either group them together by level in areas of the map, so I can just kind of like grind and do my thing, you know? Or they would just scale all of them, you know, to my level and to the difficulty settings that I choose, like in, say, Skyrim, you know? So that is kind of a bummer for me. And now I'm trying to take on quests that will help me grind. And so my level is 11, and I said to myself, okay, I'm going to try and only take on quests that are 3 levels lower than me. I'm just going to search the map for quests that are 3 levels lower. Well, I ran out of those real fast. And on top of that, some of these that are Witcher contracts that I found that like are 3 levels lower than me, like this one, the Shrieker, that's 3 levels lower than me. Compared to other quests that I've taken that are 3 levels lower than me, that one is really hard, and it's a big monster. I'm like, I'm getting my butt handed to me. I don't know what they want, you know. And so I've just found that I can't predict what my difficulty experience is going to be with various missions and stuff, and so it means I'm more likely to get myself into trouble and die. And that is what I hate more than anything else in a game. Dying or a fail state that causes me to have to reload a save, go back and repeat some material or something like that. I just hate that. I find it very discouraging and irritating. And so that has really led me to say, ultimately, I'm done with this game. I really thought just a week ago, I was like, man, I think I might be really getting into this game and like figuring out what I need to do to enjoy it, you know? But it just wasn't meant to be, I guess. Because at the end of the day, the other issues just became a little bit too much for me. I used all the oils and the potions, and you know, when I fought the Shrieker, there was like a tutorial that came up that told me this is what you should do to hedge your bets and be totally ready for this. I did everything they wanted me to do and they told me to do, and I still died, you know. And I'm like, I'm not. That's not what I want. That's not what I want from a role-playing game. Here, let's talk to this lady. This is probably something that'll get me killed. Greetings, Witcher. Hear about the notice. Blah, blah, blah. I suppose I should be reading these or letting the voice actors do their thing, but I'm not doing either. I'm sorry. I'll help you. Alright. Look for the bodies of the White Lady's victims using your Witcher senses. That's another thing. You know, the Witcher... There's a lot of quests that require you to kind of figure out where to go, what to do, what to interact with, using your Witcher senses. And I found just often enough that... I mean, I just don't like using my Witcher senses. Just walking around in a big old area, like here I'm walking into the big old yellow area. Okay, you're in the yellow area, use your Witcher senses, and I'm just over it, you know? And on top of that, you'll need to, like, sometimes line up just right to interact with something. Like, to open a chest can sometimes be a pain, because it's... I get too close to it, or I'm not close enough, you know? I'm like, no. And so it's... You know, it's kind of death by a thousand cuts at some point. But I have to say, I love the look of this world. I love the creepy, weird monsters. What made me think that I was like, oh my gosh, I might be discovering that I love this game a week ago was, if you played this game, a quest where you meet these 3 witches, and they are so grotesque looking and weird and bizarre looking, like something from John Carpenter's The Thing. And that's my favorite monster movie of all time, and my favorite monster concept of all time. You know, just like this weird, disjointed gore monster. You know, that's what these witches look like. And I was like, oh man, that is my kind of creepy, you know. And so I was really into it for like a day, you know, when I ran into that quest. More? These things right here, maybe? Examine. So I love the world. Visually, everything in this game and what it says about the world, I'm into it. I just want a totally different gameplay experience in this world. Francisco Ruiz says, well, you could go back to Dark Souls. You say go back to Dark Souls like I was ever seriously giving it a try to begin with. I bought a copy of Dark Souls 2 years ago for $6, specifically to play during live streams because I thought people would be interested in seeing me play that game, because I so often talk about how I'm terrible at games, I have no patience for dying. So that's the game that you want to see me live stream at some point, right? Ugh. But that's another example, you know? I mean, the Dark Souls games, every time I see footage of those, I'm like, this world looks so cool. Why do they have to pair awesome, dark, creepy, disturbing-looking, serious fantasy world with difficulty? Why does it have to be that way, you know? I guess it doesn't have to be, but man. More Witcher senses. Should we go down here, maybe? Oh. No, I gotta... Let's see. Oh, okay, here we go. Examine. Wasn't the ghouls that killed him. Okay, so I'm going back to the Widow. So, not as much, you know, running back and forth as Greedfall, but every once in a while there can be missions like that here too, where I'm like, oh, I'm just kind of running back and forth. Although I will say that I like the combat in this game. Wait, was there just a wraith back there? Let's kill it. I hear you. Are you up there or something? Where are you? Oh, you're... Okay, I don't know. I'm going back to the Widow. Let's see here. Francisco Reese says, if it was super dark vibes but all the enemies were pushovers, wouldn't that create some game design dissonance? Not for me. And I don't literally need them to be pushovers. I like it to require just a little bit of thought, a little bit of intentionality on my part, not much. You know, I don't literally just want to brush up against them and they die, you know? But no, I'm fine with it being easy, you know? That's what, for me, that, you know, that's, Skyrim is halfway there. You know, it's not as dark looking as the Dark Souls games, but it's a pretty serious looking world, you know? Almost as serious looking as The Witcher is, you know? And then I just feel I have the power fantasy, you know? Because for me, I really stumbled upon this expression less than a year ago, and I really think it describes my reasons for gaming. Especially when I'm playing a third-person game. It doesn't make as much sense playing first-person games, but in a nutshell, I play video games to play with digital action figures. I played with action figure. I was an action figure kid. I made elaborate stories, like big epics and movies and stuff like that, you know, I mean, movies in my head. I wasn't recording myself, you know, but just these big stories and stuff. And created these cinematic moments, the way I would see, my eyes would represent the camera, and I would move my guys around, and, you know, and that's, you know, and I love that. That was like my thing as a kid, playing with action figures and that imaginative world. And I outgrew them eventually, and didn't have an interest in playing them anymore. But I discovered something like that in games, you know. And when I tried to play video games when I was younger, in the Nintendo era, where they were just much harder than they are typically today, I wanted to move Mario around as an action figure. That, you know, I didn't consciously think of him in that way, and wasn't consciously thinking of gaming that way. But looking back, that's what I wanted. I wanted to just create my little story and make him bounce around the way I wanted to make him bounce around. It wasn't about the challenge for me. It was about existing in that world and seeing more of that world. And so the difficulty was an irritating barrier to playing in that space with my little Italian plumber action figure, you know. And the, you know, the challenge that is in games, I mean, honestly, you know, I like just enough challenge to kind of create a sense of just drama. Not for me as a player. I don't want intensity in my own emotions, but to kind of see a little bit of visual intensity, or just a little bit of a barrier, a little bit of like something that slows down the hero momentarily, so I can imagine him expending effort, and then he triumphs, you know. But yeah, so in a nutshell, it would not take away anything from what I want out of a video game experience to have enemies that were easy in a dark atmosphere, because I create the story and the drama and the tension in my head. The difficulty is something that's out of my control, and so it's getting in the way of what I, as the director, want to do with my story. Poor Lucy. She probably got... I haven't been reading any of this. She probably got cursed and died, and now she's a wraith or something. Adam Calling says, that's a really interesting analogy, Pater, one that I think I can relate to. I also suck at games, but still enjoy playing them. Yeah, it sounds like we're in a similar boat. Scribbling Scribe says, did you see him kill that giant wolf spider Hydra dragon? He just brushed up against him and boom! I wouldn't mind having that option. It's not one I would lean on a lot, but... Throw the silver dagger into the fire to lure the Noon Wraith out. Alright. Let's do it. Oh. Let's see, have I encountered a Noon Wraith before? Gotta figure out my oils. Gotta get my oil situation figured out. Water hags. Oh, here we go, Noon Wraith. Moon dust, I don't have that bomb. That's another thing, you know, there will be enemies that I'll run into that, like, they'll have weaknesses. I think I do have Spectre oil. But, like, I don't know where you get the recipe for moon dust bombs. I've been looking for shopkeepers, been looting everywhere I can. So there'll be times sometimes where I feel like the game doesn't give me all the things that I want, or that it's telling me are useful to take on some of the enemies that it wants me to take on, you know. Alright, well, we can do Spectre Oil and then Yrden. I don't like these spell names. Just call it what it is. What is that, a shield? Is that the telekinetic thing? Just call it that. Alright. So, Spectre Oil. Well, let's put some of that on. Alright. So we are all witchered up. It rains a lot in this game. I do like that. It is so gloomy. So, and like I'm playing at wintertime too, and it does get, you know, cooler here in the winter, even in Arizona. So I've totally been like in the vibes of this game's weather patterns. Oh yeah, noon race never come out after dusk. Alright, so never come out after dusk. So I need to they're noon wraiths, so I guess I need to wait until let's do 8 a.m. Oh. There she is, Miss America. Oh. Oh, I'm doing nothing to her. Oh my gosh. Okay, well this would be a great way to stop, because she's gonna kill me. What's Yearden? Yearden. A magic trap? Alright. Oh, I'm gonna die. Oh! Come get me in my magic trap. Oh, there's more of them. Oh, jeez. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Oh my gosh. Book it. Book it. Run, run, run while we wait for the food to fill me up. Gonna fill me up good now. Fill me up. Fill me up, buttercup. Ugh. Oh, maybe I'll get out of this alive. Oh, but she's sucking my life or something. I don't know what that is. Yearden! Come on now. Oh! Oh, almost! Oh! Oh! Run! See, I don't like this. This is no fun. Let's go fly a kite up to the highest height. Let's go fly a kite and send it soaring up through the atmosphere, up where the air is clear. I should have gone into head voice more on that one. Air is clear. Oh, let's go fly up kite. Get it? Because I was kiting. Yeah. All right. Hey, Gabriel Castro. Welcome, welcome. Love seeing new usernames. I don't know. Maybe I could recategorize it from gave up to shelve for now. I don't know. I like the world a lot. Like the monsters a lot. The design. Really into it. Really into it. Francisco Ruiz says, I think the subtext is more that you think Mary Poppins is a witch, Peter. I remember in drama class in high school, we did like an improv game, like Whose Line Is It Anyway, that kind of thing. And the prop that we were given was like a carpetbag type thing. And I got to live out what I always thought, you know, was like the really dark side of Mary Poppins lore. Like, what if some kid got sucked in? What is that? What crazy other dimension is in that bag? So we unleashed all kinds of demons and stuff were coming out of it. So yes, I do think she's a witch. That's not what I was getting at, but yeah. Beware. Roleplay Cafe says, you might want to look into Zelda. The world is vast and ripe for exploration. The monsters are of mixed difficulty everywhere, but you don't have to approach them directly. Yeah, I mean, I think if... I mean, my oldest does have a Switch now, but I mean, I'm not going to try and lobby to get time on his Switch. If I wanted to play Switch games, I'd buy my own Switch, you know, at some point. And if I ever did find myself in possession of my own Switch, Breath of the Wild would be my first purchase. And I think I've said that off and on, not very much online, but I've said that to a number of people that I get into conversations with about the Switch, you know. Alright. Well, that's enough of this one. Next up, let's see. This one I did not advertise that I was going to get to. I am still going to get to the final game that I mentioned in the promo I'd get to, and that's Monster Hunter World Iceborne. First, I want to do some Torchlight 2. It was recently announced that the Torchlight game in development, which was going to be an MMO, like free-to-play MMO, switched. The developers realized, no, that's not the game that fans want from us. And our beta testers and stuff, like our in-house beta testers or whatever, the feedback we're getting is that really this game, it doesn't want to be that. It wants to be more of what we're known for. And so it looks, and the release date, I think, is this summer. It's 2020, I'm almost positive. And I really enjoyed the first Torchlight, because it's a Diablo clone that doesn't lean on enemy swarming near as much as most Diablo clones these days. My favorite Diablo... I mean, I like Diablo clones better than the Diablo series of games. I'm thinking of Baldur's Gate, Dark Alliance 1 and 2 on the PlayStation 2. They were also on the Xbox, the original Xbox. And that series is actually being brought back. There's a game coming out that's just called Dungeons & Dragons Dark Alliance. I don't know if it has any of the same devs carrying over, but it's definitely meant to be like a resuming of that kind of gameplay. And I'm like, yes, I am on board. Just don't lean on enemy swarming. I like there to be fewer enemies on screen that are each more significant. Than just a bunch of enemies that you have these explosive abilities that just like screens at a time are exploding around you, you know? I mean, that could be okay at the very end of the game when you are as maxed out as you can possibly be, but in Diablo 3, that's happening like 5 hours into the game, I feel like. You're getting swarmed, and the individual enemies kind of become meaningless. They just become waves, and it becomes more of like this real-time strategy game almost, you know, because you're not thinking about individual enemies. You're thinking about groups. How am I going to deal with this group, you know? And there's something about that that just I don't like, you know? But Torchlight didn't do that as much. And so I'm into Torchlight 2 now. I got it on sale. It came out on PS4 back in the fall. And I am, of course, using my Wizard Elderast, which is the wizard I always like to play as when I can in RPGs, when it makes sense. And this game, I thought it was never going to come to consoles. It didn't look like it was going to. And it finally did. And it does have more of a cartoony vibe, but it's like serious cartoony, if that makes any sense. I would have preferred if it was more of a Path of Exile type thing. But Path of Exile even eventually gives itself over to swarming, and I just found myself losing my patience with Path of Exile recently, going back to it. Still, so much about that game I really, really like. Still, very much a game, as I said in my Games of 2018 video, a game I would recommend to somebody that wants to try out Diablo-style games. Because there's no barrier to entry, it's free, you know? As long as you have a console or a PC that can run it. And it's free with no strings attached. I mean, it's free, you know? So, really cool game. But for my particular tastes, I don't want that swarming. And what I've played so far, I mean, I'm only level... what am I? Where is it? Level 10. So I'm only level 10. I'm barely into the skill tree on these. I mean, look at that. I've just upgraded Magma Spear a little bit. Haven't done anything on the, you know, Lightning Tree or Storm Tree. And just barely got into the Frost skill. So I am, you know, really early on in this game. And so it could definitely change. But this certainly qualifies as a game I want to love. I want to love. Roleplay Cafe says, yeah, I like the first Torchlight as well. The best part is the pet. You know what? You might be half joking, I don't know, but the pet is awesome. I was reminded of that. Because the pet, you can load up with gear that you don't want and send him back to town, and he'll take care of selling it off for you. And you can just keep adventuring without him for a little bit, and then he'll catch up when he's done at the shop. It's awesome. So I am all about the pet mechanic. Just for that alone. See, it's cartoony, but I mean, there's still like blood all over the place and stuff, so I mean, it has a serious side to it. And you see, it's a little bit, and each of these enemies, I mean, this guy's tougher than normal, but I like a little more of that mono-a-mono feel. Or is it mono-e-mono? I'm pretty sure that whichever pronunciation is correct, it's a butchering of the original language that phrase comes from. Oh! Jeez. I wanted to just freeze him in place. That's what your freeze attack is supposed to be able to do for you. I was also playing some Titan Quest 2 earlier this week, just kind of going back and seeing, okay, do I really want to be done with Titan Quest 2? Because Titan Quest 2 does not have swarming either. And I'm much deeper into that game than I am into this one. And that's really nice. At the end of the day, I categorize it as gave up on, but, I mean, I never say never, I guess, with any of these. But ultimately, the aesthetic really wasn't my thing, and the graphics were just a little bit bland. It's just a little bit of a dated game. And so it wasn't conjuring up an aesthetic for me as much as I like in video games. But I think the thing that really did that game in for me and made me be like, no, I gotta be done with this one, is that it was not immediately obvious to me which weapon was going to be better when I'm like getting into my inventory or like standing right outside the shopkeeper and first looking at what I have, making sure that I have the best stuff equipped that I'm carrying before I sell off the rest, you know? And checking that out and seeing, okay, is this really the best stuff that I have, you know? It just... I mean, I'd have to open up that game and show you why, but for reasons I can't explain right now, it just wasn't an obvious decision. And so that looting, upgrading thing, that process is part of the fun of, a big part of the fun of games like this for me. And so if it becomes cumbersome, then I'm like, not working. Roleplay Cafe says, no, I was serious about the pet. I'm in the middle of Grim Dawn at the moment, and I miss my precious pet, LOL. A good portion of my game time is at the merchant stall sorting through loot. I am totally interested in Grim Dawn. There's like several games. There's like the Van Helsing games that came to console. There's that one that's kind of inspired by heavy metal. I can't remember the name of it right now. It's another Diablo clone. And neither of those look like quite my thing. I mean, I've actually played some of the Van Helsing game, the first Van Helsing game. I really want to play Grim Dawn, but I don't want to play it on PC. I want to play it with controller. So I'll be very interested if that ever makes its way to console.
The future, a world where the quest for truth has ended.
Do you believe in the supernatural, Mr. Vandarius?
Surprise! The Shader will bring hell to Earth for thousands of years. Shock Division, kill them all!
Spirit Blade, a full cast audio drama. Download the Legacy Edition of Spirit Blade for free at spiritblade.com.